good evening. This is Gayatri Mahadevan, your facilitator for the day. We're going to go through the topics of pivot table. There's a link in the chat. Now I'm going to share. The file that I'm using will be available in the link. Please use it if you want the same file, or you're good to use your own file for learning. The file I'm using does not belong to any company. It's just some random data which I picked up from internet. So if you want to work with me, please go to this link and you can download the file. If not, you can use your files that are available in your system. Am I audible to all of you? Please reply to me in the chat. Am I audible to all of you? My screen visible? First, my question is, I'm going to touch the features of Pivot Table 2010, Excel version 2010. Do I have still people who are working in 2007 or lower versions? 2010 is fine. Anybody who's working in the lower version? 2007, 2003? Nope. All right, good. So I'm going to touch features of 2010. So in case you are working on 2007 and below versions, you might not be able to do certain few features that I'm going to work for the day. All right. So let's get started with the day. As I told you, my name is Gayatri Mahadevan, and we are here today to learn the features of pivot table. First, let me explain what a pivot is. So if you want to hoist an object focusing on one single point or multiple points, we call it a pivot. So data is also the similar way. So we can, analyze the data from one point of view. So we're going to make the focus of the data, focus for the data, either one or the other column or multiple columns using a pivot table. First and foremost, pivot table is just a way to analyze the data. Pivot table is not the right tool for you if you are trying to modify your data. It is just used for analysis purpose. So let me go ahead and give you certain tips which will help you to make your pivot table a very effective one. First, when you have your data like this, now is my screen visible? You can see that in my data, you will have, I have around 1030 to 1080 rows, but there are no blank rows, there are no merged cells in my data. So that is your first step. So when you want to create a pivot table, your first step would be, you have to check if you do not have any blank rows or merged cells. Okay, I have a raised hand here. Right, so now we are going to use this data to generate the pivot table. Okay, first when you generate the pivot table, so now if you check my data contains no merged cells, no empty rows, no completely empty rows. So now my data is ready for generating the pivot table. This data, a quick explanation, is very, very simple. So you can see that I have the month, I have the salesman, I have the region, the product, the number of customers to which he has made the sales, the net sales amount, and the profit and loss. So using this, I'm going to create a pivot table. Now, if I ask you to tell me how many fast car has Joseph sold, it would be an easy work for any of you. You just have to apply a filter. But if I ask you to count the number of customers for every single salesman, for every single region, how do you achieve that? It's not an easy work to be done only by filtering. Maybe if you're good, you can use subtotaling, option number 1, or you can use a formula called summits. That is your option number 2. But then pivot will help you do more than that. So my first step to create a pivot table is, I will have to go to the Insert tab. Okay, for people who are new to Excel, in case we have any, these are called tabs, and this area is called the ribbon. This area is called the ribbon. Now I'm going to use the Insert tab. In that, my first option is pivot table. So let me see here. I'm going to select the data, the whole data. Okay. If I hit inside the data and use Control and A, it will select all the data. So you can see that my data goes somewhere up to 1080 column, 80 rows, 1080 rows. So I've selected the data. Now I go to pivot and say I want to put a table. Now the options that are given to me is, first it asks me whether you have a table range where you want to generate the pivot. The second option is whether I'm going to use an external data source, which would be a database connection. If you want to bring data directly from Access or SQL Server, then you will have to use this. But since now my data is sitting in this same Excel, I'm going to select the table or range. Now the lower part helps me to generate the pivot table in a new worksheet or in an existing worksheet. I'm going to choose a new worksheet and then go ahead and click OK. So if you see, it will insert the new sheet. In the new sheet, it will give me certain area where it says it's a pivot table, and then it also does open the field list. Do you see it in my right hand side? The field list. This area is called the field list. So the moment you generate the pivot table, you can see in the title bar, you will have two options. Two tabs added. One is option, the other one is design. I repeat, you have options and you have design. So these two are going to be the tabs for the pivot table. Now let's generate what we wanted. If you remember, I said I want salesman wise, product wise, number of customers. So I need to select the salesman. So all my columns, I'm going to go back to my table for a second here. So all the columns available in my table, do you see them? So all the columns are available as field list. So I wanted the salesman. So now if you are new to Pivot or you've been working randomly in Pivot, you'll be thinking where exactly to add what column. For that, please look, I can choose the salesman. I can say I'm going to have a row-wise salesman. So when I drag and drop the salesman into my row label, you can see that it will show the salesman here. It shows the salesman here. Now I want the region. I have two options again. Alright, so now I can drag and drop this region in my column label. Now you can see that it appears in the column. But still, I do not have the number of customers. So to have the number of customers, do you see a value area here? So we can drag and drop the number of customers into the value area. Now I have what I needed. I have salesman-wise, region-wise, number of customers. So we have the salesman-wise, product-wise, number of customers. Salesman-wise, region-wise, number of customers ready for us. Pivot table is a consolidation option. That is the reason it does not allow any editing. I'm going to try and edit the data here. You see, when the moment I try and edit the data, Excel will give me an error saying you cannot change the pivot table. It is straightforward. See, if it's a consolidation option, you're trying to edit the data. Where exactly the addition has to take place in your source? There is no clue because this is a consolidated data, which means the rep Joseph in the middle region has 695 customers. So if I go ahead and edit any of this, it's fine. But if I edit it here, how would it affect the source data? There is no clarity. It creates a lot of ambiguity. That is the reason you will see that pivot table will not allow you to edit the data in here. If you want to edit, you will have to edit it on the source. So now if you want the filtered data, for example, I want Joseph's record for the middle region now. So you can get it by double-clicking on the intersection. It will generate a separate sheet where the filtered record will be available. Do you see it? It will generate the filtered record right here. I'm going to repeat. So if you want to have this filter ready. For example, you want Maria's record for the West region. So here is the intersection. So when you double click on the intersection, automatically it will generate a new sheet where the filtered record will be available for you. If somebody is working with me, you can ask me any question you want right away. Or if you have any questions till whatever we've been doing, please go ahead and ask it in the chat. If no, please, at least a couple of people respond no in the chat so that I can continue to the next topic. So if you, the question is, can we have multiple text columns, in the sense you want to have multiple row labels, multiple column labels, or multiple values? Row labels, very well, you can. You can have multiple row labels, you can have multiple column labels. Now I'm going to come to that. So since we have done the basic now, this is the basic pivot table. Okay, I have a participant who's not able to hear me. I'm just going to respond to him real quick and then I'll get back to you. Just give me a minute here. So this is the basic. Now we will continue to increase the number of row labels. So I'm going to say I want the products also. So I want salesman wise, product wise, region wise, number of customers. How do I do it? Now I have my product option here. So my chances are I can move the product to the column label. But usually the difficulty with the column label is the scrolling. It looks, very, very long table. Usually we prefer lengthy table lengthwise is okay for us. Breadthwise, very long table is very difficult to handle. So I'm going to move the product from the column to the row. Now you can see that I have Joseph, and then I have the products under Joseph, and then I have the region, and then I have the bifurcation. Please note I have the subtotals on the top. Do you see Joseph's product-wise total on the top? Lawrence product-wise total on the top. And I have the grand total here. This is the overall total. So let's see how to edit this first. So as I told you, the moment you generate a pivot table, you will get two tabs on the top. First one is option. The second one is design. Please go to the design. Once you are in the design, you can see a drop down called grand totals. Here are the options. So it says off for all rows and columns. You can say on for all rows and columns. On for rows only, on for columns only. So I'm going to say I just need the column wise total. I don't need the row wise total. Or I just need the rows only. Now I don't have the column wise total, I just have the row wise total. If you want both, you can select this option on for rows and columns. This is for the grand total. Now let's see for the subtotal. So usually it shows all subtotal, but it shows the subtotal on the top of the group. But if you want it on the bottom of the group, all you will have to do is go to the subtotal and it says show subtotals at the bottom of the group. Now we have the subtotal, we have the pivot. Are we good here?
Yes.
Okay. So this are the report layout. You can see that you want only the outline. You can show only the outline. You want all the labels. You can show them. And then these are about the blank rows. So it says insert blank line after each item so that you will get space. Do you see that? So you will get a space and your report will look more legible if you have too much of data. Otherwise, you can remove them. These are the designs that Excel pre-builds for you. So you can choose a design that is suitable to your company's color combination. So your design will be ready. Okay, I have a question here. Let's see. If you have values for Joseph and Maria, which is not the sum of these three, can we show it rather than summing below the three cars? Mr. Abhishek, I don't understand your question. Can you please brief it? If you have audio option, you can also voice out your question. Not insert the row, Ms. Pritka. It will always be insert only blank rows. So just to increase the legibility, I will show you. Oh, are you asking me to insert a row in the source? Okay, I'll show you. So once you are insert the pivot, you can go to design, you say blank rows, and say insert blank line after each item. All right. So my next step would be working with the options that are available here. Mostly the questions will be oriented like, can I have, my data getting updated if I edit my source. Now I'm going to go to the source data. I am going to update it. I'm just going to update it to a very high value so that you can see it visibly. So now my source data is updated. If you want to update your pivot, you can just right click on your pivot and you will get the option for refresh. You will get an option for refresh. Or you can go to options and you will see the options for refresh. So when you refresh, do you see the value getting updated here? So once you update your source data, you can refresh your data here. The next frequently asked question in this place is, what if I insert a new column? If your new column is inserted in between your old column, then pivot will automatically recognize it. Now I'm going to copy this column and paste it here. So I'm going to go ahead and say insert copied cell. So you can see that I'm going to change the name of this column. You can find the difference. I'm going to say it's new. So let's go back and look what has happened to our pivot table. Now here is my pivot. Now I'm going to go ahead and say refresh. You can see that my new column has arrived here. No problem. Anyone wants me to repeat?
Oh, it's good to go.
Okay. So if not, for example, I copy this column and I'm going to go and paste it here. So now I have a new column here. Okay. Now I'm going to go and refresh my pivot table. You will see that it will not be refreshed. It will not be refreshed. I will not have the new columns here. If you want this updation to happen automatically, then you will have to first, before giving the source, you will have to format this data as a table. You will have to format this data as a table. That is the only way you can make this happen. Okay, now I'm going to make that happen. So I'm going to delete this old pivot table. Done. It's gone. So first, I'm selecting this data. In my home tab, I will have format as table. So I'm going to choose format as table. It's asking me the range. So I've given the range. And then I formatted my data as a table. Now once I do it, you will get the design on the top. And also it immediately shows you the option that you have here. Okay. So now in this, if I generate the pivot table, then if you insert a row, do you see here option summarize with pivot? Then if you give the option, now if you insert the data, automatically it will recognize your data. When you insert rows, automatically it will recognize your row. Okay. So I have gone back to the original source. Now you saw that when we include the product, it becomes a lot of disturbance. So your other next option for adding another column would be, you can choose it to be an report-wise filter. You can choose it to be an report-wise filter. So how do you do it? So do you see the report filter here? You can drag and drop your product on the report filter. You will see on the top, you will get the product here. Usually in 2003, it will not allow multiple choice here. But here you can make it happen. So now if you see in my pivot, you can also do the filters. So I'm going to choose only Maria and Joseph. I hit OK. And then on the region, I'm just going to say North and West. And then on the product, I'm going to select only Rapid Zoo and Super Glue. So you can see that I've got the result of filtered data. Now, if you want to remove all the filters at a go, you know how to remove filters. You should know this. It's a prerequisite. So in case you want to remove all the filters at a go, so you can just go to your options and say clear filter. It will remove all the filters that we have put on our data. Okay, so if you do not want a report-wise filter, because report-wise filter is not doing you good, then your next option would be slicer. This slicer option will be available only for people who are working in 2010. If your Excel version is 2007, you will not have the option for slicer. You will not have the option for slicer. So please check if you have the slicer option if you're working in 2010 version. So I am going to insert a slicer. So the moment I say insert slicer, it will give me all the field list, all the fields in the field list. So let me go and select the product here. All right. So do you see I get the product here? Look at my data. Do you see the filtering happening? No, 2007 does not give you slicer. No add-in. 2010 slicer, yes. If you say no filter, fine. It will give you all the option. For people who are having 2013, you have one more option called the timeline. Sure. Okay, somebody wants me to slow down, so I'm going to repeat the slicer option. So how do you do it? I just go inside my pivot table. I go to the options. I go to insert slicer and select the column that I want. For slicer, first let me delete the slicer. I hit delete, it is gone. So now I go to options. I say insert slicer. So it opens me a window. In this window, I'm going to select product. And then I hit OK. Now you see the products that are available. So this is a very dynamic option. I can apply the filters. So I'm choosing the product. When I choose the product, automatically you can see that the filters will happen. If you want to remove the filter, you see the option here. You just hit it. It will get you for all the products. And you can also delete the slicer just by hitting the delete key on the keyboard. The slicer is gone. Slicer is a new add-in or a new option that is available from 2010 version of Excel. All right. So anyway, we'll be revisiting the slicer when we go to chart. Okay, pivot charts, I will revisit the slicer. Have you heard the word dynamic dashboard in the pivot? So we will do a dynamic dashboard in the pivot. All right. So now I'm going to do conditional formatting with the pivot data that we have. Let's see how we can do it. Hope you all know what is conditional formatting. Do you? Anyone who's here who does not know what is conditional formatting?
No, I do not know. Siddharth here.
Okay. So I will give you a brief introduction. Conditional formatting is a simple way to apply format on your cell based on the data, and it is dynamic. Okay. For example, if I have this data, I want to select all the values which are greater than 1000 and change them to a different color. This is a simple example. So I can easily do it using conditional formatting. Okay, so let us see how we can. I will show you, Mr. Roshan. We will see how to select multiple columns in the slicer. Sure. All right. So now I'm going to select the conditional formatting. I'm going to say highlight cell rule. And then I say greater than. So I just set a condition. I said if the data is greater than 1000, then I want it to be in what color? I want it to be in green. So there is a pre-built green formatting here available. But if you want to choose your own formatting, then also it is fine. How do you do it? When you drop down, you will see the option custom format. You will see the option custom format. Please hit it. It will open a dialog. The first time when you open the format dialog in Excel, it will surely take some time. So here is my custom format dialog. In the custom format dialog, you can see the option for fill. So let me choose a green color to be filled. And then I'm going to hit OK. So you can see that it would select it, but I did a mistake by selecting the grand total. So I'm just going to select the data. I'm going to repeat that again. So I'm going to say custom format, conditional formatting, highlight cell rule, greater than, and then I said 1000. So let me go ahead and get 1000 here, and then drop down and choose custom format. In the format dialog, I'm going to go to fill and select the fill I want, and then hit OK. And then one more OK. So there I am. So let's see. I'm going to go back to the data, the original data. I'm going to go to a different rep, Lawrence. Let me increase his customer base. And then, if you see it's not refreshed here, how will we refresh the data? Options, refresh, refresh. So did you see the format applying automatically? Did you see the format applying automatically? Okay, so that is because of the effect of conditional formatting. When I go back to the original data and make it whatever it was, I don't remember what the value was. Okay, some random value. And then, and then I go back to the original data and then my pivot and then make a refresh. So there I am. So my data would be very, very dynamic if I'm using conditional formatting and the pivot together. And to add with it, we can use the slicer option also. Okay, so I'm going to move. Yeah, you have to refresh every time you change your source data. Sure, not a problem. Conditional formatting. Let us do something else. All right. So here I am. I'm going to select this data. Now let's do the lesser option. Any data that is lesser than 700 will be red. Okay. So how do we do it? I go to Home, Conditional Formatting, highlight cell rule. Now I want less than. So I choose less than. So less than what value? I was telling 700. So there I am. I'm going to use just an inbuilt format. It's already red. So I will just choose that and hit OK. Now you can see that if the value is lesser than 700, it will be in red color. And if the value is greater than 1000, I formatted it to be in green color. No auto refresh in any version. Maybe if you close and open your pivot, your Excel, automatically the data will be refreshed. Okay, so my next question is about sorting. Slicer, yep, slicer option is only for filtering. Yes. The name literally slices the data based on one or more columns. So for sorting, usually the sorting happens right here. So you can say ascending, descending right away here. But if you use more sorting option, so here it gives you the option whether you want to sort the salesman or the sum of number of customers. So that way you can sort with your data. And you can see in the more options, the sorting will automatically happen every time the report is updated. The sorting will automatically happen every time the report is updated. So if you do not want that, then you can still say, you can choose what calculation you want, and then you can choose the sort option here also. Why no row name is coming in the sort option? You want to sort by this rep's name? You can just sort it right away here, no? Sort A to Z. Or if you want to sort in the reverse, here it is. So the column name sorting is here. Alright. So once you are done with the sorting option, the next option is filtering. The basic filtering everybody can do. But then let's talk about custom filtering. Whoa, if you want to keep Joseph in the top. Okay. Alright, so see, either you can sort based on a custom list. You can create your own custom list and you can sort your data based on your custom list. If you do that, then that kind of sorting is possible generally itself. So if you want to know how to create a custom list and sort based on custom list, I can let you know. It would be a little deviation. Is that fine for everyone? Okay. Alright, so let me first finish this. I have one more question. I will answer to it. You are asking me if filter is possible in the table itself. Then why do we need a slicer? See, I can give one for row label and one for column. And then I can add multiple sub row label. But then it makes my data very messy sometimes. Some people feel that, I should just have a row and a column. I don't want subcategory. But I still want the filtering to happen based on some other column. So how can you achieve that? For that, slicer is very, very useful. Does that answer your question? Alright. So let us first create a custom list. To create a custom list, go to the File tab. Sure, just give me a minute, Kartika. I'm coming back to the multiple slicer option. Just give me a minute. In that, go to Options. So in the Options, hit Advanced. When you keep scrolling down a little, you will see Edit Custom List. I'm going to repeat for people who have not followed me. File, Options, Advanced, Scroll, Edit Custom List, and then hit it. So here are the default Excel given custom lists which are available. So if you want your list, you will have to write it here. So now I'm not copying, pasting. You can do that also. in case you are wanting. So how do you do? I can select my data from my from my Excel worksheet, and I can copy it. Now did you look? I've selected data. How do you do it? In that you have an option for import list from cells. You hit here and then you select the data. It need not be a pivot. Okay, don't get me wrong, it can be anything. Since our topic of the day is this, I'm doing it from here. You say import, it would get you the list. So here, reorganize the way you want. So there it is, the way you want it. And then now I'm going to hit OK. Or it's already added if you see. I'm going to hit OK. And then I will close my options. Now my custom list is ready. So if you want to sort data based on your custom list, you go to the sorting option. You say more sort option. And go to more options. If you say first key sort order, you scroll down, you will see your list here. And then now if you hit OK, you will see that the data is sorted based on the order you wanted. And mind you, we have sorted in descending. So it is coming like that. So if you want to sort it in ascending, you say ascending, salesman, more option, and then this option, hit OK, one more OK, there you are. No problem. Anyone else? So there I am, Kritika, I'm there with your question. So I'm going to give a multiple slicer. Okay, there I go inside my pivot table, options. I go to insert slicer. I'm going to choose product here, and then I have the region. I'm going to add month, and then I'm going to hit OK. So here is my product, and here is my month. So now I can do the options for selection. I'm using shift to do multiple selections. So I selected the first option for all the products. Do you see it? Mr. Roshan, do you want me to repeat the custom list sorting? Okay. Can I finish this topic and then go back to it again? No problem. So I select the date. Now if I use shift and then hit, I can select more than one option. Here the same way. I'm using control to select two options. So to select non-continuous options, you can use control, and to select the continuous option, you can use shift. So there I am having a multiple attribute for slicing, and my data is sliced based on the option that I've selected. So once you're done with analysis, just remember to clear the filters and then hit delete. Your slices are gone. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the custom list option. First, where do you go for the custom list? Do you want me to tell you how to do the custom list or how to sort based on custom list? Sort based on, okay. So I select the row label. I say more sort option. And then if it's manual, it will automatically rearrange. You can see this. Okay. But if you want to say no, you want to do a sorting based on the list you already have. So you can choose whether you want to sort ascending or descending. So I'm saying I will change to descending so that Joseph has to go on the bottom. It should be Lawrence, Maria, Matt, and then Joseph. So just descending and then go to more options. Okay, I'm coming to that. So, and then here you will have your list. And then I hit OK. And then one more OK. There I am done. Okay. So yes, in the custom list, I manually copied the Joseph and put it on the top because that is my own sorting order. No, that's what we wanted. I have my own product priorities. Let's say you are having customer list, you will have your own priorities of the customer. Maybe you wanted to sort based on the priority list, but you never achieved it. But you can do it. All you will have to do is, you have to. So once you do the custom list, it will sit in the system forever. Okay. If you do the custom list, it will sit in your system forever. So then no problem. Then it will be no problem. Okay. So first you will have to do the custom list once. Then the custom list will be available in your system forever. Then you can just work with the custom list. Okay, I did have one more question. Can we sort only the grand total? Yeah, you can. So I'm going to select the grand total. Conditional formatting. I can say icon set. That will be a very good option. Somebody is sharing the screen. Oh my God. Somebody is hitting share screen. Please don't share your screen. Oh, you want to show me something? Alright, look at this. I'm going to go to conditional formatting, icon set, and then say choose the icon set I want. I'll choose this. So I can edit it. I go to, okay.